welcome to Geopolitics Behind the Ball, your place to get the hottest geopolitical tea on the biggest country matchups of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm your host, Rafaella Lipschitz, lead analyst at the New Lines Institute, and as we approach the end of the tournament, let's take a look at the semi-final and final matchups to uncover some of the geopolitical tensions and drama behind each game. Let's first look at England versus Argentina. This is probably the spiciest matchup we've had in the tournament so far, and we'll start with the obvious. England playing Argentina in the 1986 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal and Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal. Now what's interesting about this is it came only 4 years after the Falklands War. So for Argentina, it was more than just a goal, it was payback. Maradona would then go on minutes later to score what some consider one of the greatest solo goals in World Cup history. Now the Falklands themselves aren't ancient history, they're this year's news. Argentinian President Milei has been turning up the heat in 2026, saying that the islands are and always will be Argentine. And the wild card is that a leaked Pentagon memo suggests that the Trump administration is supporting British sovereignty over the islands, reportedly due to the UK dragging its feet on the Iran war. Now that would undo a policy that's held since Reagan backed Thatcher in 1982. And this year, the players brought the politics right onto the pitch. After their 2-1 win against England, several Argentinian players were seen holding a banner that said the Falkland Islands are Argentine. Now, some are saying that this is in breach of FIFA's ban of political displays, and it wouldn't be the first time for Argentina, who in 2014 had to pay a fine for holding up the same banner. But doing it at this moment in the semi-finals against England felt very different. So this semi-final was a rematch of one of international soccer's most intense rivalries, and it was played against a backdrop of a sovereignty dispute that is more debated in Washington now than it has been in decades. Ultimately, Argentina went on to win 2-1 and are one step closer to clinching victory. And then we of course have Spain versus France in Dallas. The club rivalry in this match was hard to miss. We have Mbappe for Madrid and Lamine Yamal for Barcelona. This was basically El Clasico in international colours. But the rivalry goes back a lot further than just Mbappe versus Yamal, especially geopolitically. The Treaty of Pyrenees ended the brutal Franco-Spanish War in 1659. But my favorite detail about this treaty is that it was signed on a small uninhabited island called Pheasant Island that sits right at the modern border. Instead of giving it to either side, they came up with a joint sovereignty arrangement that still exists today. Basically, the island switches hands every 6 months. So Spain holds it for 6 months and then passes it on to France, who holds it for 6 months. It's become a big symbol of Franco-Spanish peace, and the best part is that nobody lives on the island. So this fixture was just the latest chapter in a rivalry that has been going on for centuries. Sometimes it's settled through treaties, sometimes through shared islands, but in this case it was settled on the pitch. And that sets us up for the final. Argentina versus Spain played in MetLife in New Jersey on Sunday. In 2024, a serious diplomatic spat between Argentinian President Milei and Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez led to a real degradation in the country's relations with one another. President Milei called Sanchez's wife corrupt, and in response, Spain permanently withdrew their ambassador in Buenos Aires. Now, a new ambassador has since been appointed, but the spat was significant, with Milei calling Sanchez himself a crook and reportedly calling for the clobbering of the local bandit. So for two countries that have this brotherly bond, it doesn't really get more hostile than that. But there's actually less football history between these two countries than one would imagine. They've only met a total of 14 times, and the record is dead even. 6 wins apiece and 2 draws, and they've never met in a game as high stakes as the World Cup finals. But of course, there's also the Messi versus Yamal. And what's great about this is that in 2007, a 20-year-old Messi signed up to do a charity photo shoot where he bathed a baby. That baby, of course, ended up being Lamine Yamal. And nearly 20 years later, they are meeting on the biggest stage of their life as they both compete to take the trophy home. And that is it for this episode of Geopolitics Behind the Ball. Thanks, everyone.